It's early going on mid-April, and we got snow outside, so figure I'd use another chance to light a fire and enjoy it. Share it with you. But I also want to make this video for my fellow TSL members, and specifically a class member named Eric, in discussion of the 50-mile march. So on the TSL, we have I created a forum post for all the guys that are going to be doing the 50-mile march, and where we can report in struggles, successes, failures, whatever. And Eric, man, he went out and found it was more difficult than he thought, and he's gearing up for another run. So to encourage you, man, that's awesome. And yeah, I think he will be successful. His last comment was, there will be a next and successful attempt. And that positive mental attitude is kind of what I want to talk about. So in beginning the strenuous life this year, it hits home to just kind of what the kind of guy I am, and that's I like doing hard things. I like challenging myself and learning where I need to grow, and learning what new areas of I have a capacity that I didn't think was there, or I have a weakness that is a humbling moment and a learning opportunity for myself. So the foundation of the strenuous life is just something that resonates with me. And being able to be part of a community of guys that are like-minded and want to do something similar is, I think, awesome. But the 50-mile march specifically. So when I signed on to Strenuous Life and started reading through what the program entails, and the 12-week initiation program of the Strenuous Life, and got 12 agons, you got to get a badge, and you're getting a challenge coin as kind of a commemorative thing of, hey man, you adopted a new thing and did hard things along the way for your own development and developing your own ability to assist and help others. And that was something I wanted to commit to right off the cuff. So reading it, just the mental decision of, yeah, I'm going to do what it takes to do that. And going through each week and reading the new Agon released each Saturday, and setting up the support system I'll need to do these new things, because sometimes it's just a one-time, once-a-week task, a 24-hour fast. You got to do that once. Okay, cool. There were other things that took a step every single day. So 7 individual things, which it's hard to do something new sometimes, just getting your life to make that opportunity available. And so I would set up different systems, different alarms on my phone of, hey, 15 minutes, sit down, do this thing, make time for it. And it was actually on one of those weeks Agons that I failed. It was when I was coming back from my January vacation, seeing friends and family, and I was just starting on shift, and my alarm went off to, hey man, do that contemplative prayer. And I was in the middle of something else and made the decision then, I need to finish this, because going to work after a month off, that's important. I need to make sure that's squared away. And in doing so, I missed the Agon, so there's the failure. And the 50-mile march, when I found out about it, I was damned and determined to not have to do that. That was super intimidating to me. I've gone on hikes. I've walked my fair bit of time and carrying loads and whatnot, but nothing to the extent of 50 miles. And so when I saw it, I'm going to do everything I can to not do that. Let's not do that. And so fast forward to the week where I missed a day out of the 6. That was a decision point. That was a fork in the road. I had set the goal of get the 12-week and a badge challenge done. That's what I want to do, and avoid the 50-mile march. Well, I failed the Agon. So do I accept failure, or do I commit to something I'm afraid of? Because that 50-mile march, it's new. It's a large undertaking, and I didn't want to have to deal with it at all. And I was scared. Just scared. Just no, I want to avoid it. But I had to make a decision there of, okay, so do I pursue that which I'm afraid of in continued pursuit of the initial goal I laid out for myself, or do I accept a failure? And at that point, I was 6 weeks in, and this is a just a philosophy I use often in areas. I was already 6 weeks in. I was 6 weeks invested. So the decision I was really make was, am I going to throw out 6 weeks of work just because I have apprehensions? And in that, at that point, I decided no, that's not the decisions I want to make in reflection of myself. That's not a habit or a practice I want to put in place. So I'll do the hard thing. And so began the preparation for the 50-mile march. Part of that was starting the forum post on the 50-mile march, and hey guys, here's my plan. And I submitted my own calendar of preparation. I had 8 weeks to prepare, so I had marching rules that I went through and designed a structure to help assist me overcome this goal. Because me on my best day, I don't think I could walk 50 miles by myself with no prep. It's just that big of a task. And so out of respect for that and out of recognition of that, I had 8 weeks of work to go on top of continuing with the Agons. And as I was going through this, Eric, again, I want to commend you on your positive mental attitude here, because that is foundational to success in any pursuit. If Henry Ford was it, it doesn't matter whether you believe you can succeed or whether you believe you can fail. The fact is you're right. There's truth to that. There's an extent to where it doesn't matter, but there's truth to that. And it's putting in a mental practice of, will you practice thoughts of success or will you practice thoughts of defeat? And so part of this, anyone that I would talk to when I was engaging with my friends, my friend Halleck, that was something that I was cautious to choose my words well when I would engage others, and that would, the 23rd I will be walking the 50 miles. Deliberately choosing positive verbiage and affirmative verbiage for myself of, yes, I will be walking this distance on this date. And that was a practice throughout the entirety of my preparation. Positive mental attitude. Knowing that in the task, I'll probably have to switch the A to assertions. Positive mental assertions. I will complete this. And that was absolutely a fact come miles 20 through 50 of, I'm here, I'm walking and it sucks, but I will be able to take another step. And I will be able to walk for another 10 minutes. And I will be able to walk for another 10 minutes after that. And on each time I was confronted with the doubt of, can I complete this? I would bring up my previous successes of, I've spent 8 weeks in preparation for this. Will I allow the doubt or the fear or the pain of what it will take to take this next step undermine 8 weeks? Because I knew that on my best day, my singular best day, I won't be able to walk 50. But what if I add up 8 weeks worth of decent days and good days and damn good days? Will that be able to push me through? And that's something I used as fuel to help me get there. So that, that was what it took for me. It wasn't just on a whim I jumped out there and did this. There was lots of preparation. There was lots of ground laying and resources that had to come in line. That was the work that needed to get done to get me through it. And it didn't save me the fact that I had to take every single step along the way. There is no amount of pre-work that saves you from the load that you'll have to carry when doing the work. Whether it's the 50... So the camera kicked off on me, so I'm going to pick it back up on pursuing the resources you need. Be diligent in figuring out what that need is. Because there's going to be a difference between want and need. And you'll have to be very judicious in figuring that out. One of the things I've recognized I need when pursuing the 50-mile march, of recognizing it's going to have a lot of suck in it. And so that I can't change. But trying to figure out how to, instead of selling it, here's what I did. I picked snacks. I needed food. Stuff that would give me the fuel that my body would require to get me through a 20-hour day of walking. I picked stuff that I knew I would absolutely like. I want to be able to, while I'm dealing with this suck, I want to be munching on things that I enjoy. But I also picked things that I didn't like, deliberately. Because I didn't want to have 20 hours of competition between something I enjoy and then something I hate. I just didn't see that balancing out well. So I picked snacks that I also didn't like, because on the legs would take me about 2 hours or so, 6.5 miles, down, back, and so on. I'd be committed to whatever fueling I had with me. That's all I had. No one else. It was the drop points for refuel were on those separations. So between the two, I was on my own, and I wanted to be stuck on my own with something that doesn't bring me palatable pleasure. Something that is a kind of a burden that I have to chew on this thing and suck it down, because it's going to provide me the fuel I want. And I did that because it would take my mind off of the burden of the task of the 50 and put my mind on a much lesser burden of the chagrin of eating something I don't particularly like. And that works. It really does. You can... Major Pain, the old 90s movie where the guy gets his legs blown off and he's complaining about his legs, and he's like, "Let me see your hand," and he snaps his finger. "Ah, my finger!" The quote of well, how you feel about those legs now? A little masochistic, but it does work. So deliberately choosing specific mispleasures during your journey can really help take your mind off of the burden of the stacking difficulty of walking for so long. And for me, I actually average a little bit faster pace on the legs that I was eating something I didn't like, because some other mental aspects you can add into that, and that is, I only got 4.5 more miles to go until I can refuel on something I enjoy. I have one thing, like the beef jerky, teriyaki beef jerky. I get 4.5 miles before I can get teriyaki beef jerky. That's going to be awesome. Forget this stupid fruit nut mix, and having things that are there to help you change your focus, because it's easy to focus on hard, it's easy to focus on pain, it's easy to focus on a task bigger than yourself. So putting structures in there that are small, that you can focus and lean on, that are just smaller than the overall burden. But yeah, that's just a kind of a side tip. I don't want this to be an hour's discussion on 20 hours worth of work, because I probably could do that, but I want to respect your time as well. But yeah, positive mental assertions, man. Going through your task and using the sum total of your effort to be the fuel that allows the next step. Putting things in place that you will need, and putting in a practice of not only focusing on what you want. Because focusing on what you want can undermine you just as much as the difficulty of the task. So, a little bit of pragmatism. Eric, I'm rooting for you. You got this. And anyone else that's going on, looking to do this 50-mile march, it's totally doable. Totally doable. It's going to suck. It's going to take a lot of work. But it can be done. Remember that. Hold yourself to it. And remember, you're going to be signed. If you choose to do this, commit. Choose to do it. Because you can. I'm going to let you go on that. Yeah. Best of luck. I'm rooting for you. Catch you later.